Well, a big game about to unfold here in Perth as we hit round 14, and it is the Woolworths team cards with the Fever lining up similar to their win against the Vixens last week with the move of Anstis, the captain, into centre. And across at the Mavericks, Nazy Nankervel gets the nod to start in wing attack. Jovic in career best form. And then their ball winners in Parmenta, Jenner and Lewis. This one promises to be a ripper. We are about to get moving here in Perth as the West Coast Fever will open up with the centre pass through their captain Anstis. They're going to head to the right of screen. And they will have seen the result of the Melbourne Vixens game and know that they must win by 24 goals. We've rectified that now, 24 goals, in order to jump the Vixens on the ladder. And they start through that lady there, Janelle Fowler-Nembhard.
Well, she had such a brilliant game against them last time, 50 from 50, and we actually saw Shimona Jock, who's in goal shooter. She moved to goalkeeper for 2 quarters last time these two teams met.
Expect anything today from the Mavericks as Jock opens up, playing her 12th game this season for the Mavericks. Both coming in winning form, putting their nose over a goal from the Giants. Beckford, nearly takes a long shot. So a 1-goal victory last week to the Fever against the Vixens. What about the Mavericks? 2 weeks in a row, single-goal victories.
Oh, look, they know how it is to win under pressure. Was that a shot or a pass, Sue? I think just a little offload there from Beckford. But yes, the Mavericks understand what it's like to win under pressure. And like you said, this is must-win for them if they want to keep their finals hopes alive.
Well, pressure on that centre pass. Jovic forced to go backwards. Nankervel, that nod in at wing attack today on Ariang. Jenner, workhorse at the line defensively for the Mavericks.
Contact centre!
Cardwell, too easy. Over the big hands of Katie Ann Dehaney. A good start for the visitors. Just ticking away. Penalty with Teague Neal.
Just too easy sitting in that one-on-one position. Olivia Lewis, we know she's played so many times after being a West Coast Fever player against Janelle Fowler-Nembhard, but I think she's going to have to pull up something pretty special today, get off the body, use that beautiful vertical elevation that she has to try and disrupt the pass.
Well, big defence here from the Fever, and it's all now about patience for the Mavericks. As Dehaney moves the feet to the ball side, gets her first Nissan net points. And an offside call. So the coach killer puts the ball in the hands of the West Coast Fever, an opportunity to get an early break. Through Williams. Ariang free as Jenner goes looking, what she does best.
Well, 2 bodies hitting the ground. Jess Anstis in the back of play. She hit the deck, but we can already tell this is going to be a physical matchup. Both teams with so much to lose. There's going to be fighting for the ball for every second of 60 minutes. That was such a beautiful high ball, perfectly placed between 2 defenders.
So out by 2 for the West Coast Fever. Stacey Francis-Bayman on the sideline with us today. Stacey, former defender yourself. How do Lewis and Jenner go about this when they have this height difference with someone like a Fowler-Nembhard?
It sounds really silly, but with a great level of resilience. No defender, however tall you are, is going to break down a Janelle Fowler-Nembhard in 60 minutes. You also are going to get really few opportunities, so you need to be confident to stick to game plan, use your footwork, confuse the space, change what you're doing tactically out there, and know that hopefully across the 60 minutes, you're going to come up good at some point.
Cardwell again, using her mid-court to position closer to the post, and a good finish from her, shooting at 81% accuracy this season. Beckford, so see the defence now of the Mavericks sitting back.
Yeah, it's exactly what the Vixens defenders did last week. They isolated Shanice Beckford, which meant she had plenty of space, and I think sometimes that's a bad thing. She's not super tall. For her to be able to get that vision, we know how good she is at feeding into her Jamaican counterpart, Fowler-Nembhard.
So Jock out on the move and then a quick reposition. And an offensive contact, but a turnover to Jenner. The offensive contact for using the hands against Dehaney. Maybe a little bit of karma if you're a Mavericks fan. Ball straight back.
Well, and I don't think Fever were expecting that, so they were caught out of play. Thankfully, Jenna had her eyes up and she snapped up that intercept, but they need to start being really smart about what they're doing in that attacking end because the umpire is noticing.
Jovic, clever, sneaks around the outside of Teague Neal to deflection. Her season averageness and net points up above her career average by around 30. So having a terrific time at the Mavericks. Molly Jovic. So Kim Jenner just needs to adjust the timing and she'll come through with one of those soon. In the meantime, has to be the big offensive rebound for Janelle Fowler-Nembhard. The Fever with the break here by 3. Oh, great vision from Cardwell. Straight over the mess of the Fever and their defensive pressure.
Well, that came from Maisie Nankivell. She took that depth drive, and when she went over that side, it drew Dehaney across the court, really opened up that space, as we can see here on the Harvey Norman replay, all alone under the post. Very nice.
So some quick scoring for the West Coast Fever. Now the highest scoring team in the league as Ariang makes a contact on Cardwell. Nankivell, quick 1-2. Hits to the circle edge. Ariang again. And a good finish for the Mavericks. Penalties have been of interest so far this season. 790 to the Mavericks, 683 to the Fever. Vastly more penalised side, the Mavericks. However, the Fever drawing the whistle early. Oh, Parmenter!
She just has this ability to create something out of nothing. She throws her hand in. She's so athletic. It's like she doesn't even realise the circle edge is there. She has a crack at everything regardless.
Teague Neal sizing up the options. Goes with the size. So look at the outside arm. Harvey Norman replay. Caitlin, clever.
She could have grabbed that with 2 hands, so I bet she'll be kicking herself for that one soon.
You do wonder if a player thinks that after the moment.
100%.
Why didn't I go with 2? Ariang, well, read that beautifully. Ball goes out of court. It'll be a Mavericks throw-in. So some presence from Ariang. Now out at wing defence with the West Coast Fever. Drawing attention of the umpire here on the far side, Georgina Sully-Beals. Cardwell, right in that middle channel. There's the brains trust. To your left, Tracy Neville. To your right, Nicole Richardson. Attack and defence.
Well, what was Livia Lewis looking at then? I think she was a little bit distracted by the movement of Alice Teague Neal, but she was well far off and she was punished.
Halfway through the opening quarter, good second phase from Jovic with some depth. Jock steps in, has to go big over Deganey. Well, they land with the rebound. Maybe that's where the wins come for the Fever defence in forcing Shimona Jock away from the post.
Well, we saw how good Katie Ann Dehaney was in getting in the head of the Vixen shooters last week, really put them off their shot. So step in if you dare, I say.
So the obstruction will go on the Mavericks centre. Beckford just playing on that outside there. Setting up Fowler. Nembhard at the back. West Coast Fever. Play finals no matter what. Contact on Beckford. They will want to win here to try and give themselves any chance of a top 2 finish. Potentially reliant on a loss by the Thunderbirds tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you've got your Sunday sorted, please. So a delay by Williams to get the ball back. Intentions being made early. I love that by the umpires. Now the players must play to that as this game unfolds.
I mean, it makes sense when games are coming down to final seconds and crunch moments. You need every second, and the umpires taking control early and setting the standard, I think, is fantastic for the players.
Good defensive pressure here from the Mavericks. Teague Neal breaks through and a quick release into Fowler Nemard. Well, that is the season that Teague Neal is having. Absolutely dominant for the Fever at wing attack. There's the your Nissan net point, should I say, powered by E-Power. Nemard, Fowler Nemard up at 23. Season average 110. Cardwell, beautiful. How have you seen her season?
Look, up and down. I think a huge loss, obviously, Sasha Glasgow going out of the Mavericks lineup to start off with. That probably forced a little bit of a reshuffling where Cardwell would probably prefer to play. And that, for me, I think is goal shooter. I think she's extremely damaging there. But I think she's smart and she is so fearless when it comes to putting up that two-point shot.
So the Power 5 siren now gone. And this is where things could get really interesting as Fran Williams, well, reaching out of court to keep ball in play, but Mavericks first to the pickup. Neal.
Coming this way, ladies, and stepping back.
So Beckford with the contact. You'll see here in your replay, not quite. Ariane, everything worth two. Cardwell, the queen in this piece. Content to play the one through Jock.
Content to just keep that scoreboard ticking over. I mean, you can force Fever to take the two-point shot here if you want to, but I think they're doing a great job in connecting at the moment.
Teague Neal works to the circle edge. Lewis, certainly great elevation. Quite content at this point with that lady on screen. 14-11.
Have a look how high the Mavericks are getting their first and second phase. So first phase is coming almost in line with the centre. Second phase, they're not even making it over the transverse line. They need to create some depth and get some better space.
So here we go. This lady is very good at this. And then the rebound, even more important for the Fever. Haney and Fran Williams feature very high in the rebound stakes. Dangerous cross-court ball when Parmenter is anywhere in range. Straight in to Jenna. I reckon took a backhand from Fowler Nemard on that.
She didn't look. She was in the wars last week. She had a dislocated finger. She got collected by Amy Schlager at one stage. So she's up for the fight today as well. As we see here on that Harvey Norman replay. Oh, tippy toes.
Oh, gee, tippy toes, tippy fingers. Gee, I don't know if that was pinpoint precision or that was just unbelievable from Fowler Nemard.
Interesting that you should say that, Gordy, about whether you thought it was pinpoint or not. I think Mavericks are doing a really good job of changing up their defensive strategy in that two-point. They're off marking and on the zone, really tempting Fever to throw something that may or may not be on, so we'll see if it pays dividends.
16-12 with 2:30 to play. Mavericks, a must-win game for them. They have been an impressive team to watch grow in season 2024. 6 wins to their name so far. They've won 19 quarters. They've had turmoil to deal with, and they are still fighting. Oh, ball from Nankerville.
What a great screen there from Cardwell. She set that position up perfectly and so much space behind for Jock to take that nice pass.
Beckford just sitting out, so the two sitting back on Fowler Nemard. Beckford, quick offload. Easy to post for the Fever, and both sides opting to play the one-point game at the moment. Feeds Teague Neal with 12, and right up there all season. Second for goal assist behind Liz Watson.
Yeah, that's right. Second for feeds as well. So every time the ball is in her hand, she's making great use of it, and she touches the ball so much, which is what I'm so impressed by.
Well, Nankerville getting right in amongst the defence. Great cut from Beckford. Oh, gee, straight to the head of Beckford. Good follow-up by Teague Neal. And the West Coast Fever will take their scoreline to 19. They hit the 20 against the Vixens last week, a 5-goal lead in the opening quarter. Again, Jock out. Hardwell's their girl. She's way from home.
Definitely the danger of having Cardwell is that, you know, she's a shooting machine, but she's forced to go outside the circle and do so much work, which takes away from her game. Fever defense is doing a brilliant job at forcing the Mavericks up so high on their centre pass.
35 seconds to play, so time for a couple of scores here. And the West Coast Fever will take the first. If you want a momentum shift, we'll see if the Mavericks can pop in a 2 here. The energy, big energy from Jock on the take. Still plenty of time, 16 seconds. They'll look for Cardwell. Jock goes for 2. Well, she's shot 2 of them this season. Not to be. The Fever have 8 seconds to score. Jenner, 5 seconds. They can still score here. Cardwell on the siren. Oh, gee, I told you. I told you it's possible. Welcome back, and this is the final seconds where we were unsure of whether or not this goal counted. And you will see there Cardwell's foot is just outside the circle on landing, which means it is a no score, and exceptionally well done. Watch the umpire as she comes around the corner here and immediately says no goal, and then points down to the foot being out of court. So I hope that clarifies it for anyone. That was quarter time, brought to you by Origin Energy. It was a terrific end to a quarter, Caitlin Bassett, though.
It was wild, wasn't it? And good on that umpire for having her eyes down to spot that, because we did not see that, and that is a tough job she has out there.
So the Melbourne Mavericks trailing by 5. Eleanor Cardwell just giving us a little piece of what potentially she could do in this game. And straight away the Mavericks wanting to make amends. Turnover opportunity. Strength. I'm loving this battle between these two. Mariang and Nankerville. Beautiful pass in to Shimona Jock. Her first quarter.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, what I didn't like from Shimona Jock, a couple of offensive turnovers there. So she's sitting on negative, no, she's on 0.5 net points at the moment. She's putting up a great volume of shots, but it's just those 1 or 2 coach killers that we talked about she needs to tighten up on. Oh, huge take, and then a backward somersault from a bit of showtime there, Cardwell.
Well, these are English teammates, but they are certainly competitors, aren't they, right here today? Neither taking a backward step. Fran Williams, you can say, just got the better of that now as Jovic goes down. Well, last year's your Harvey Norman replay. Just a great contest for the ball. Cardwell not able to hold the feet at the end there. I watched the Mavericks and Giants game last week, and I had to get the calculator out as to the number of times players were on the ground. It was a terrific contest of netball. I loved watching it. Right, back to this game here. Let's go down to Stacey Francis-Bayman amongst the madness of coaching at the quarter break.
Absolutely, but incredibly clear and concise feedback from Dan Ryan. We saw it there in that last passage of play. Fever are looking for that extra pass to get to the circle edge, specifically when Beckford is isolated like she is right now on the circle edge. They want someone there for her so she can offload and get straight in. Defensively, it was very much about the 2 points, so I'll put that in my pocket and jump back in for the game later.
Well, there, Stace, were Fever confident that that last score didn't count? Could you sense that in the huddle?
To be honest, they'd completely moved on. They were looking at areas for development in that next passage of play.
We were the only ones worried or interested. So, back to it. No changes. Williams out hunting. Jovic, though, quick vision, and then a wayward ball. Had 2 options. Chose the wrong one.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Cardwell went back into the circle. She was waiting for them to bring it circle edge to her, and just a really silly error there gives the Fever back possession, and we know how damaging they can be with ball in hand. But Jovic.
Well, Parmenter there was waiting for that side ball, and she is proving to be an early menace for the West Coast Fever. At 12.5 Nissan net points, a couple of contacts bringing that down. She is the workhorse, the captain. Jovic, Cardwell swings around the front, another give and go. And a steadying shot. So they mop up that wayward ball from Jovic. That's the last thing. Here we go. big crowd. And you can see the players and the umpires are trying to connect to hear each other.
That's right. They want to get the play moving as quickly as possible. That was a beautiful shot for Shanice Beckford over the top of a great jump of Olivia Lewis.
Jenna to the sky for the take. Great ball from Maisie Nankerveld. So some real confidence in the attacking play this opening part of the second quarter. That's what coaching does at quarter time, doesn't it? The adjustments. Oh, and Emma. Oh, gee. What do you think that was?
Oh, I think that was just a bit of rush of blood to the head. It would have looked specky if they'd done the little 1-2 shooter, but just don't think Beckford was ready for it or really in the right position.
Great vision and has to go over the top of Ariang, who gets a quick right hand to the ball. And then Nankerveld cross-court. Gee, that makes you nervous, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, Fran Williams was a fingertip away from that one. It was brave to put that ball in.
Doesn't matter though, they get through. Have a look here, Ariang, Harvey Norman replay. Hardwell again. Well, Maisie Nankerveld for me is just starting to have a real presence. Oh, gee, a miss. Doesn't keep it in court, Jock. So Deganey, a win over her fellow Jamaican in Jock. And that is the battle we highlighted in the opener to keep your eyes on. Amongst the many that are on the court. And that's another one, Jenna and Beckford. 2015 was the quarter score, 4-3, the way the Mavericks in this quarter. Little fake from Beckford with Drew Lewis. So working their way through a very active defence.
Yeah, look, have a look here. A lot of crash and bash going on in the circle together, but Fever just finding a way. It's 4-all so far this quarter, but I just feel like they're waiting and waiting to expose something.
Well, the defence here across the transverse line has lifted for the Mavericks and really forcing Fever to craft their way through. And they find their way. Fallon Emma 23 straight. So let's just keep your eye on that. The last time they met, she went 50 straight from 50. She's already nearly halfway there with 9 minutes still to play in the second quarter. Oh, Williams. That's coming, isn't it?
Once again, such a dangerous ball. She's watching for that. They would have talked about that at quarter time, about that ball swinging across the circle. So Mavericks really need to tighten up on that one. Throwing a fake.
Mona Jock, she's the go-to for the Mavericks, 12 from 13. Cardwell at 8 from 9, so certainly some volume from her early. Oh, Teague Neal, well, yep, toyed with 3 or 4 options and then drew the attention of the umpire with the held ball. So a good moment here for the Mavericks. They need to score and then own their centre pass. Nankerveld off circle edge, uses the left hand cleverly. So, turnover opportunity converted. And this is where they get a chance to put some pressure on the Fever. Cardwell, clever, one hand into Jock under the pressure of Williams. And 2 in a row for the Mavericks, scoreline now back to 3.
Well, they don't make it look easy, that's for sure. They put plenty of pressure on themselves, but managed to finish it off. Have a look here on the Harvey Norman replay. Fran Williams flying through, but Jock managed to snatch it in.
So you can see the pressure. The offline defence is really making the West Coast Fever have to think. It's slowed down their attack here. And on cue, the coach, Dan Ryan, has probably sensed a shift in play or a shift in personnel. It's a HCF tactical timeout. The West Coast Fever lead by 4 with 7.5 on the clock. Let's hear from the coach.
Go get on. Make sure whatever you're doing, there's vision direct over the mess. Just hit some extra foot speed in that front line, all right? And really smothering your defense. Just do your own job against Nankerveld. Really smother the life out of it, and then give us some great punch to the transverse line, all right? Ready to come back in there. Right, everywhere card knowledge and bring them down her neck. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Good work.
All right, guys, coming in. Guys, we're doing some really good stuff out there, but we aren't yet really owning our moments. They are there. We've got to make the choice right now heading into halftime that we're taking them, all right? So work our butts off to get those grit moments, and then we stand tall with great confidence and skill in those moments. Come out charging here, guys. We're doing great stuff.
And
Let's go.
everyone be an option, all right? This is strong one. Be 1, 2, 3.
Let's go, come on.
So that lady there, as we mentioned earlier, 24 straight goals, and that puts her straight to the top of the Nissan Net Points match leaderboard, powered by E-Power 44. But look what's underneath her for Mavericks. Caitlin.
They are fighting hard. They know it's do or die for their finals potentials here. This could be the last game they're playing this season, so they're making the most of it.
So 26 to 22. It's the Mavericks centre pass, and you'll see there the last 10. And that gives them a 7-6 lead this quarter. Chipping away at that 5-goal opening lead that the Fever had. Let's head down as Shimona Jock. Oh, well, gee. Shimona Jock should have nailed that. That's just unacceptable.
There's been 2 crucial shots now that she needed to nail that she's missed, and Fever really capitalised on.
Well, they're her bread and butter, and that's why I say it's unacceptable. The team expects her to deliver on those ones. Let's go down to Stacey Francis-Bowman.
Fever instantly being rewarded for that change in the defensive circle there, with Ariane coming up with the rebound. But Mavericks very mindful of staying in the game, keeping competitive and making the most of the ball in which they get. Tracy Neville impassioned at the timeout, as we've come to expect, wants repeated efforts from her attack, and I took a few expletives out of that for you as well.
Kelsey Brown also into the centre. She's spent no shortage of time there this season. They're sort of back to their starting 7 that we saw in the first half of the year, Caitlin, for the Fever.
Yeah, and we heard Dan Ryan say it's for some extra speed in the front line, so expect to see her getting that ball moving, cutting and driving, which is her strength.
Well, footwork from Maisie Nankerville as she stepped around to play the ball back. The back foot, I think, lifted, which is what the umpire saw. So the West Coast Fever, a couple of early gains, with opportunity to convert. Mariang in at that more comfortable position of goal defence. They're stumbling through this defence here. Look at this pressure across the line from the Mavericks, just hovering around the ball. Have to go over the top for Teague Neal and then penetrates through the middle of that box.
Well, they're doing a really good job of confusing that space, but what happens when there's a penalty? All that pressure that they've just built disappears.
So here's the footwork moment. Left foot, yeah, you can see, so the left foot was grounded, and as she pivots, it lifts off the ground. And that is stepping. So another great pickup by our umpires on court here today. Tactical timeout now by the Mavericks. If you like a bit of animation, I can't guarantee it, but Tracy Neville's pretty good at it. Let's
Play smart.
listen into this.
Yeah, you've got to keep moving on her, yeah? You've got to keep moving, yeah? If you come up that middle, make sure you offload his key, yeah? You don't be spinning, okay?
Let's go. Bring Gabby in the game, yeah?
Guys,
Work her in the game.
guys, we're punishing ourselves here. We're punishing basic mistakes, and we have to go on this. You got me?
Kelsey likes to get in and then come in.
Middle, or dog on her. Or dog on her.
Transition, can you guys get loud?
All right, girls, 2 instructions. Loud in transition, and in attack, we are driving to the ball, okay? That's only simple 2. Bounce on 3, 1, 2, 3.
So the Melbourne Mavericks have been asked to tidy up the errors. General play turnovers. They are at 7 and the Fever at 6. So not too bad.
Not too bad. I think just like what Tracy Neville said, silly errors. They're letting themselves down with basics like a stepping or just a pass that goes wayward. And interesting to see here, we've got Sinclair now entering at goal attack, which pushes El Cardwell back to shooter. Some super shot power for the Mavs to catch up.
Well, a good start out of the break for the West Coast Fever. Gabby Sinclair, you mentioned, sitting at 77.7% accuracy this season. She is a super shot specialist. So we're just 11 seconds out of that zone at 71% accuracy with 45 super shots to her name. So they're dialing it up for this next 5 minutes, the Mavericks. And we'll watch and see how it challenges the Fever defence. And you just heard the siren go, power 5 time. Beckford swings to open the circle, drives the base, and then a terrific and forceful pass from Teague Neal to find Fallon Emmard. Out to 8. Jovic. So being kept off the circle edge, should I say. Good drive to find it, though. Easy for Cardwell. Goes to the queen of the super shot, and there it is. What a confident start to come on the court for Gabby Sinclair. And that'll certainly build her confidence as well. Suncorp super shot number 1 for this game.
Oh, big hit there. Jenna came in to contest, but just a little bit too late. Nothing moves Fallon Emmard. She is so strong, but that was a big hit.
Well, it's a risky moment, isn't it? So it's a backwards ball, if anything. Kim Jenner would have felt that more than Fallon Emmard. Teammates from season 2023. Sinclair looking to play around in the front. Stopped by Deganey. Or Dehaney. I've got to stop saying that.
Just rolls off the tongue so nicely.
Cardwell has to go big and delivers. 2 in a row for the Mavericks. Scoreline at 5. The West Coast Fever. Well, they've made the decision to tick over the ones. They've been in trouble a couple of times over the last weeks where they've tried to respond with a super shot and it hasn't worked for them. In the meantime, there's a breakdown of the score. 20 to 15, 13-12 this quarter. 3 minutes to play out to the halftime break. Cardwell, straight back. Nankerville goes again. Thought she would have taken that, Caitlin.
She's just had 2 opportunities in that super shot position, but wants to play it round to find that sweet spot.
So the penalty, Sinclair offloads to the undefended shooter in Cardwell. It doesn't drop. And the rebound straight with the West Coast Fever. So there's your rebound stats, 4-1. A little indicative of the way each of their season's rebounding stats have played out. Kelsey Brown falling backwards.
Well, Livia Lewis, she came through and picked that one up nicely. There's a lot going on in that defensive end there for the Mavericks, and flying down court, 4 intercepts to none so far, Sue.
Well, that is the way that the Mavericks are going to keep themselves in the game. And at the other end, it's an ability to score super shots. Kelsey Brown being told to zip it. Cardwell steps in, takes the one. It was their centre pass, 5 the difference. Here's your gains, 3 and 1. So the Mavericks certainly up and about defensively here. Fever. Brown again, so Parmenter all over it.
That's 2 in a row now. What does Brown need to do differently? Is it the take? Is it the position of the ball?
Well, she looks like she's right in amongst the mess. I would say, given her height and stature, it's the last place she wants to be. Have a look right into the middle of the mess there, and Parmenter just too good in the one-on-one contest. So a terrific little run here for the Mavericks, forces this man's hand
Everybody
to use
nice and
his
close.
second HCF
Guys,
tactical
that's 2 in a
timeout.
row. We need to demonstrate lock-in behaviours, all right? Must keep scoring our own centre passes here, so everyone in that attitude and that mindset. Everyone with me? All right, non-negotiable. Everyone on one-on-one, hardcore defence, first ball contest, all right? Let's win this last 2 minutes of this quarter by playing the Fever way with aggression and smarts. Let's go. Come on. Fever, let's go.
Well, you can see the message from Dan Ryan there. I'm going to take you back to last week against the Melbourne Vixens. They opened the first quarter 20 to 15, the Fever, and then in the super shot period, after being 9 up, fell away to a score that was level at half-time, a 19-14 quarter to the Vixens. Do you think that was, again, a little reminder from their coach?
100%. He must feel like history is repeating itself. Obviously, the score in the first quarter here, 20 to 15, and now the Mavericks are winning this quarter by 1 goal at the moment. They've shaved this margin back to 4 goals, and there's 90 seconds left. Plenty of time for a few more super shots from the Mavericks, who have their eye in at the moment.
A minute 36 to play. And it was just a quick message from Dan Ryan, wasn't it? 30 seconds of his 90 seconds used, and the players came straight back out on the court. Have a look at this. Fowler-Nemar just to the left is amongst it. Alice Teague-Neal right on Jenna. Liv Lewis up in the madness. Oh, this is terrific. Absolutely love it. Every player. So much at stake. The Mavericks must win. There's your last 10. Nankerville, backspace to Sinclair. She'll go again. Looking for the sweet spot. A little outside arm from Ariang. The Mavericks with the ball. Quick offload, and they'll settle for a 1. 3 the difference. There's that outside tip. Harvey Norman replay. Good defence, the Mavericks. Fever catching the captain on 1 foot. So this is the response that Dan Ryan will be watching from his West Coast Fever. Keep the scoreboard ticking. For the Mavericks, go those super shots. Jovi, good cut and drive, but Kelsey Brown beats to the position.
Yep, and that's what she needs to do. She threw a couple away, or there was a couple of mishaps, and she needs to win some ball back, and that was beautiful. Great timing as well. They've still got plenty of time to score here.
23 seconds is the ticker on the clock. They are patiently working their way through a very impressive Mavericks defence. They get there. The crowd wants them to take it too. And all of a sudden, the ball goes back in the hands of the Mavericks. 7 seconds. We know they're capable. 3. Must go long. Straight into Deganey. Well, the wasted opportunity for the West Coast Fever. And what a big quarter for the Mavericks. It'll give them confidence. They take the quarter 15-14. It is the Fever in front still by 4. West Coast Fever, they will play in finals, but they'll want to go in feeling good about it. Desperate for a win. Jess Anstis back into the centre, so some changes here. And I'll get you to talk me through them. One very interesting change for the Fever, Caitlin.
Yeah, that's right. We see Alice Teague-Neal moving to goal attack for the second time this season. We saw her play there against the Thunderbirds as Janelle Fowler-Nemar, their first miss for the game. That perfect. And she knows it as well. But interesting to see Alice Teague-Neal move across, and then Kelsey Brown obviously moving into that wing attack position. So interesting to find out why that change has been made.
Well, we're going to get down and have a chat right now with the head coach of the West Coast Fever, Dan Ryan. I'll get Caitlin to talk to you about the changes. I want to come to your second HCF tactical timeout. Was some pretty forceful words with your team. What was happening there?
Well, we just had repeated errors in a row, and this is a pressure of a final. So you've got to lock in after one mistake, and we just had too many in a row there where we lost a bit of focus. So we needed to shift that behaviour and not let it continue on a downward trend.
Dan, tell us about this positional change we've seen now. Alice Teague-Neal in goal attack. We haven't seen her there only, not much this year. So what's the reason behind that?
Yeah, just want to have some craft through this pressure that the Mavericks are putting on us and get our centre pass conversion back up really high. We were 100% in the first quarter and then dropped to 70 in the second. So we need to be scoring off our own with far more efficiency.
And Dan, last week you had a brilliant shutdown job from Sunday Ariang on the wing defence. Today I think we saw her come more alive in goal defence in that second quarter, but back in at wing defence and hoping for a bit of a shift.
Yeah, we've got some options to play there in the back line, so we'll keep moving it as we need to, but back in this lineup to win us some more ball. They've been doing a pretty good job overall.
Go well, Dan Ryan.
Cheers.
Head coach, I heard him just say it's like a finals-like game, isn't it? That's exactly what he would want leading into finals next week.
Yeah, that's right. If Fever finish third, they will be back here playing their first minor semi-final as Alice Teague-Neal puts up her first shot and Fowler-Nemar just mops up those rebounds. It's hard when you haven't shot a lot to all of a sudden be expected to turn and deliver at the post.
Well, you'd be expecting that she'd be doing it in a training environment. You'd hate to think that she hasn't hit a post for weeks. That would be unlikely. And it's different on game day. And we'll watch how that unfolds for the Fever. 3-2 opening for them. Hardwell just taking a rest on the bench at the moment with Sinclair in at goal attack. Jock at 17 from 20. And we just saw that miss from Fowler. Oh, gee, Kim Jennett needs to be careful. She's coming in on the backside of Fowler Nemard and almost shifting her, not taking her landing space, but shifting her off landing.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful with that one. We know Kim Jenner, look, she's sitting second in the league at the moment for contact penalties. That was an awkward landing that we saw there on that Harvey Norman replay. And, well, that was huge there. Fever just getting hand to balls. Great to see Fran Williams back on and having an impact straight away in that goal defence position.
Great first ball contest from Parmenter. Long drive from Brown. So speed for speed, those two. And who has the smarts to win the battle? Anstis looks sideways. Teague Neal, quick with Fowler Nemard. Well, they've played a couple of seasons in this goal shooter, goal attack. So for anyone new watching the West Coast Fever, they're not strangers in the circle. But Teague Neal's certainly been crafting her wing attack game for some time. There's Cardwell. Don't think she'll be sitting there for long, folks. Brown through the mess. Jenner out hunting. And then just leaves the space for Teague Neal to go direct to Fowler Nemard. She is going to smash her 50. She scored against them last time, sitting at 38 now.
Yeah, it's interesting. We see Alice Teague Neal. She's leading the circle feeds there. I think she's going to play the goal attack role quite similar, and she'll still be turning and looking in to feed that ball for Fowler Nemard, but she'll also then be able to get in there as that one just drops through for Shimona Jock.
Assist sitting with Alice Teague Neal. Oh, Brown, look, when a mid-quarter immediately sights a post, you know that they've got confidence. That, again, I speak about moments and skillful moments in games. Kelsey Brown then and her precision of pass, just brilliant.
One of my favourite feeders to play with because you know she's just going to let it fly. And you know what? If Amy Parmenter's not going to go and put hands over pressure, she will punish her. Fran Williams, she read that so well, just a centimetre off.
So those two having a big discussion coming out of the halftime break. There's a win for the Mavericks. So not taken in the centre third. One of those coach-killing moments. Sinclair waits for the change of direction, which was absolutely smothered by Ariang. They keep going, though, the Mavericks. Back to Jovi. Quick release to Sinclair, who's on her own. And then the contact with Katie Ann Dehaney. So Jock will step around that and get the finish for the Mavericks. 5 the difference. 2015 to the Fever, 15-14 to the Mavericks in the second. Oh, gee, Ariang.
Look, and that's what I'm so torn. She's fantastic in the circle, but outside of the circle as well, she just has that extra height. You just can't put the ball over the top of her.
Alice Teague Neal. Now, we talk about creators and masterminds in the game. I don't think there's any better than Steph Bretwell, but I think Alice Teague Neal in goal attack is so clever.
She is, isn't she? And you see her there driving the baseline. She just has that awareness of the space and where she needs to go. And when she drives strong, she takes defenders with her and opens up Fowler Nemard.
Fever holding a 9-6 quarter. Kim Jennett tippy-toes that ball in court. Goes again with it. Ariang flying. Williams flying. Well, the Fever defence is starting to throw everything at this. Sinclair with the big shot, should find the middle. Doesn't. Rebound. Not sure if that was a contact or a throw-in. It will be a contact. So, Williams out of play. And the finish with Gabby Sinclair, I just paused. I've just had a note put in front of me. We'll build this moment up in just a minute, but for the West Coast Fever fans, it's pretty significant. Here's your breakdown. Teague Neal, just vision for her partner in crime at the post. Here we go, folks. Have a look at this. See that? 11,841 people here at RAC Arena, which is a new record, surpassing their already beaten record this year of 11,267. Take a bow, West Coast Fever. Take a bow, the Green Army. That's extraordinary, Caitlin.
That is incredible. Have so many people come, not just 1 week, but they back it up week after week, and it's growing and growing. It's so exciting here for netball in the West.
Well, the crowds have been up across Suncorp Super Netball this season. The West Coast Fever have certainly been leading the way with their numbers. They will be hoping to get this West Coast Fever team across the line here today, leading by 6, and then a contact on Olivia Lewis. 10.5 Nissa net points. Tough day for her.
Be interesting to hear what our resident defender on the other side of the court has to say about what maybe Liv Lewis needs to do off the back of a huge long ball into Shimona Jock.
Yeah, there's certainly an area of defence there for Dehaney. What I was going to say, though, despite that, is that Fever's defensive intensity in this third quarter has certainly shifted. I think time either on the bench or in a different position is paying dividends for Ariang and also Williams. But yeah, definitely Liv Lewis can't be hunting too much outside the circle and leaving an easy option inside the post.
Well, the West Coast Fever, there you go, Liv Lewis. Well, gee, very close then. She was able to force Fowler Nemard away from the post. Might sound an easy feat. It is not, and Teague Neal pops in her first goal. And off the back of that fall, which was closest to the screen here, Molly Jovic just asking for the floor to be wiped. So Alice Teague Neal sitting at 56.5 Nissa net points. She averages 83 a game. The West Coast Fever leading this quarter 12-9. There's the Nissa net points match leaders, powered by ePower. And now another West Coast Fever member gets on top of the Mavericks, because it was Fowler Nemard and then a sea of blue previously.
Alice Teague Neal has really catapulted into that front as they get another win there. An offensive contact goes to Katie Ann Dehaney. She's doing a great job in just really shutting down any front option.
Well, Cardwell onto the court, not the way that she would have wanted to start the moment. So again, prepping for their super shot period, Sinclair and Cardwell. In the meantime, Fowler Nemard goes quickly with Teague Neal. And then clever offload at the right time. And the West Coast Fever here, maybe just shifting gears a little bit, Caitlin Bassett.
Well, they seem to have been coming out of that halftime break. This is their best quarter, Sue, across all of the games they've played so far. Third quarter has been their best, and we can see it here, 13-9 so far this quarter.
Parmenter, well, had vision for the ball, which gave her an opportunity. Just a little late. Jenna, late. Quick to move the ball was Teague Neal. Another one for the West Coast Fever. The scoreline now out to 9. Keep you, not saying that it's going to go to 24, but they need to hit the 24 margin to jump the Vixens. Nankerville, Cardwell and Sinclair, the super shot specialists in the circle for the Mavericks. Christiana Manua given the job on the Jamaican captain, and Fowler Nemard.
Yes, with them.
Just getting clarity on the penalty. Quick to get on with it, Jenna. Sinclair hustles, has to go big. It's a high shot. It doesn't land. It was ambitious over Dehaney. So the West Coast Fever spoil another moment for the Mavericks. Williams, Ariang being good. That'll be an obstruction. There's our sideline commentator. Hi, Stacey. Give us a wave. Oh, not you, Sunday.
This girl can do everything.
Gee, listens to the commentary in her left ear. So there's a gain to goal for the West Coast Fever, and potentially shifting the stat that was looking pretty ugly for them at half-time. So the goal third where the penalty is set. Parmenter out with the contact. Brown.
Parmenter, she just wants to go for absolutely everything. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
she's a bit too late sometimes.
Well, I think you've got to pick and choose the moments, and they are tough moments because the mid-court is wanting to take the quick 1-2 to the circle edge. Depends whether you're interested in delaying the moment or whether you want momentum to build. Potentially hard when you've got Fowler Nemard to deal with. So 50 to 39, 11 the difference here. A good moment for the West Coast Fever, 16 to 9. Tracy Neville's time right here now, HCF tactical timeout.
Okay? Everything, contact everything, get off the body. Yep, get off the body, we're being lazy on it. Okay, so get off the body, what setup we're doing, we work hard as we go through.
let's go.
Same in attack as well, okay? Me? Yeah? Alright, guys, you got to go. Let's go. Yeah. Molly, switching with Tay. Let's go. Let's bring it back to first center, yep. Alright, we push the foot here, alright? Yeah. Couple of times and we're right back in it, yeah? Let's go. That's on 3, 1, 2, 3, let's go, girls. Let's go.
Definitely a lift in voice from Tracy Neville. This is season defining for the Mavericks. If they lose, this is it. That's their season over. They are here to win. You can see that the facial expression has shifted on the coach.
Yeah, that's right. And the intensity in the way she just addressed the playing group, really urging them. Must be so hard as a coach to be sitting on the sideline and telling your troops what to do, but not physically being able to get out there. And she really wants them to get off the body. And these two players in particular, Kim Jenner, Christiana Manua, Amy Parmenter, they just need to be smarter.
So there's your live ladder. And we know that the Thunderbirds and the Lightning are still to play and have certainly some outcomes to determine where everyone will finish. But for the moment, the Vixens are in that top 2 and the Fever heading that way. Back into it with 3:18 on the clock. Wayward ball from Nankerval, and maybe the defence of the Fever just starting to apply the necessary pressure. Williams and Ariang, quick hands from Brown.
Yeah, have a look at those intercepts now, 5 to 4.
0-4, wasn't it?
It was. Fever have really exploded and found some ways to pick up some ball, and credit to them because they did. They struggled in that first quarter and they've grown into this game now. Have a look there, Ariang, Dehaney, they're on 2. Jenna, she's up there as well for Mavs, but they need another couple if they're going to peg this back.
Confidence from Brown with the high ball. And just toying with the defence there. With Janelle Fowler-Nemart now with 49 from 50 goals. So one away from what she hit in round 3 against them. Oh dear, that's dangerous. Opening up the width of the court, Jenna. So good pressure here from Fever. Now they penetrate through the middle. Taylor Fraser in at centre. Molly Jovic to the bench. Sinclair. Good range for her, doesn't like it. Goes into the middle where Cardwell's good. And she is good as Suncorp super shot drops and much needed. 11 the difference. So if the Mavericks can just, I was going to say, if they can pinch a moment, I tried to build it up. No time.
The pressure is really here on the Mavericks now, as we can see Janelle Fowler-Nemart's shooting card. She does love those close range shots, and directly in front she is the most deadly. But now for the Mavericks, the pressure is on that 2-point shot, and Gabby Sinclair here.
Oh, that's a big shot from Sinclair. I said 71% accuracy for her this year. The Suncorp super shots dropping. And for the West Coast Fever, I mean, this game is still open. I'm not saying it's over by any stretch of the imagination, but Fever are chasing 24 goals. And that is, well, I'd like to see that again. How did Jenna end up on the ground? She's potentially telling the umpire how. 1 minute to play. Fowler-Nemart takes it to 51. Here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, back left hand. Contact or not?
Oh, look, I think it's 2 players going up for the ball and throwing their bodies around. It's too hard to call.
So Cardwell, they can go 3 in a row off the hand of Eleanor Cardwell, and that is a massive offensive rebound for Deganey. I've literally moved the H from her name.
Well, have a look at those rebounds. So 7 to none. Fever absolutely dominating.
Teague Neal runs the swing. And then a quick release. And the Maverick sandwich can't stop this lady. 12 seconds to score. The umpire has called time here. We'll get the ball back to the middle. The Fever will want to score. Potentially should take a super shot. Big Fowler-Nemart off one hand. Oh, she's a genius. Janelle Fowler-Nemard twisted and turned and put the West Coast Fever back to a 13-goal lead as we head into the final 15 minutes. They are certainly playing with one thing on mind, 24. It's probably put a little bit of doubt into the Mavericks. Let's see how the final 15 plays out. Dehaney went out and then stopped Taylor Fraser from the feet. Well done. Get their way there through Shimona Jock. Now back onto the court, so some real rotations by Tracy Neville.
Yeah, she's not afraid. She's got to leave everything out there at the end of the day, and Fever defence just growing each quarter. She needs to keep mixing it up, and Jock and Cardwell, just that height, and Olivia Lewis, that's a big win for her.
Well, a huge win because it was a deflection across court fly at the ball, and then it landed on the tips of Anstis's hand. So Lewis tends to grind her way through a game. This could be a really good moment to shift some confidence into the Mavericks. So Fran Williams, the contact, just being asked by the umpire to adjust the contest. So that's a Liv Lewis goal. That was brilliant.
Yes, a smart risk there from Mavericks defence. They're going to have to do a few more if they're going to claw back this score, but it's within their control.
Absolutely right, Caitlin, and 0 gains from Mavericks in the third quarter. So to start, and have already got 1 in the first 2 minutes, sets their intent. At the quarter time, they spoke about just having a crack at ball. I think centre-pass defence would also be an area to work on. Fever currently sitting at 88%, which is 10% above their season average, and they lead the league on centre-pass to goal.
That one just dribbling in for Cardwell. That's the gains in the third quarter. So Teague Neal stays on a goal attack, and then Kelsey Brown, just the patience then to wait and sight the defender and then place the feed.
We know how dangerous that Alice Teague Neal is on that first phase, and when you know that she's going to get that ball, that gives Kelsey Brown the opportunity just to punch through for that second phase.
Cavell leading Anstis on the drive. And then the finish from Shimona Jock at 89% today so far, 24. Again, Teague Neal doing good, leading with 33 feeds, 66 Nissan net points. There she is. Well, that's the confidence, isn't it? It's almost like the wing attack game out the front, and then she knows how to craft the circle when she's in there.
Yeah, nothing takes away from her game when you switch her across into that different position. I think she just does what she does in wing attack, but then she has that ability to get inside the circle and finish off if she needs to.
One hand take from Cardwell. Nice high release into Jock. So ticking along the Mavericks here. They can't afford to drop on their centre pass. They need some defensive impact. There's a moment here, forcing the West Coast Fever backwards, again to Ariang. Forcing Fowler-Nemard away from the post now. Oh, too clever.
Yeah, that middle, I think Jenna could have had a crack at that. She just had her eyes down and, you know, it was open there in the middle. They need to make sure they're recognising when they're creating the space and forcing the Fever to pass the ball, then they need to have a crack at it. Interesting here for the Mavs on their centre pass. Kim Jenner has the highest centre pass received, so the ball is not going forward on any of their centre passes. It's going straight back to either her or Amy Parmenter every time.
Well, they're both speed demons, aren't they? So they can bust a move off the back and potentially beat their opponent and play a first phase very well. Then finding Fowler-Nemard. She's been a good target for them today. 57 goals. At the other end, Jock proving to be formidable as well. So 10 the difference with a super shot period to come. A team that knows how to fight back and win close games. I just feel like the Mavericks need to make a move in the next 3 or 4 minutes though. Not wait till the last 5. Cardwell. Fraser takes the front cut. Well, I was going to say good hands from Williams, but the distance too short. So Dehaney with the 2-on-1. Pops in number 15, Eleanor Cardwell. Just the one miss. And she's had 2 from 5 super shots. Anstis, patience. That's a semi-win for Lewis. Look at the big step in that Fowler Nemart had to take. You take that as a victory, Caitlin, sure.
You would. You keep her as far away from the post as possible, but know that she still has that ability for a huge step in. And Sue, you talked about taking the moments. I think for me it's Elle Cardwell and Amy Parmenter. The 2 leaders in the team need to step up and do something, and they need to do it now.
Oh, gee. Very close from Williams. Trying to jock, though. Just haven't seen any of that real raw emotion from her today. Normally a real amplifier for the Mavericks. Cut, not there. That's a great place ball. Lovely height on it from Anstis.
There is certainly the opportunity, guys, for Mavericks to come back in this game. It's a bit of a meaty stat, but of the 47 times teams have been behind at 3/4 time, only 3 times teams have won, and pretty much all of those times has been Mavericks.
Just as you say that, the West Coast Fever turnover, a fairly important ball, but that is a really intriguing stack, and it speaks to the heart and soul of this Mavericks side as they're trying to create a culture as a club under Tracy Neville in their inaugural year. I'll tell you what, it is a great thing to have that you are prepared to fight till the very end. 8:38, they've got to do that. Anstis has gone down. Grab on Lewis. Tracy Neville, the hands in the cheeks and the head nodding, just frustrated. So 12 the difference, Fever. And that'll be a contact on Brown on the 3rd change of direction. The hands went in the back. So Mavericks need to bust, need to be quick. Swings to Fraser. Jock front space, contact to Haney. So there's one. They need to get the ball going, don't they? I'd be grabbing the rebound and throwing it back at a rate of knots, not letting Fever take the rebound.
No, and I'd love to see Fraser just really give that first ball, give it straight away, give it straight in the guts, let Shimona Jock step onto it and take some confidence.
Cardwell, for me, rushed that. She usually is a reasonably quick shooter, but that's just a little bit quick. So the Fever into attack. Amy Parmenter can turn herself inside out around a player. It is a contact. The West Coast Fever crowd have just been told they've broken a record in the background. That is the noise that's ringing around the stadium. 7 minutes to play out. 2 things need to happen. The Mavericks need to find a way to win, and the Fever want to win, and they want to win by 24. Big ask for both. Williams. That battle is intriguing between Brown and Parmenter.
It's been great, hasn't it? And as we see Elle Cardwell just coming to the side, she's going to be switching over with Gabby Sinclair as she comes into goal attack.
I reckon they'll be looking for a repeat of last week, Caitlin. Caldwell took the game on her hands for the team in the last 6.5 minutes. She was the only player to shoot and brought them back from 2 goals behind with 90 seconds to play.
Yeah, she was impressive, wasn't she, against the Giants? And we've seen her in another colour for the Thunderbirds last year actually steal the game on the final siren right here at RAC Arena. So she won't be worried about this crowd. Contact outside the circle, Sunday Ariang. And then again on to Haney. So Dan Ryan was asking the umpires through Alice Teague-Neal at the 3/4 time break about their contacts. I feel like Fever have been in amongst it this quarter. So 12 goals the difference, 66-54. And the Mavericks, Tracy Neville, HCF tactical timeout. Last roll of the dice.
Okay, you know you go on defense, you're on defense. Okay, guys. Okay, let it go. We're going for the 2. Okay, you get in there, okay? You get in that. Get in the centre pass. Let me go to this.
Well, there's one thing I know about Tracy Neville, and that is she's one of the greatest motivators as a coach I've ever known. And watching her walk away from the huddle onto centre court to get in the ear of Eleanor Cardwell, and I don't know what exactly she said, it'd be something like this: you are brilliant, you are capable, go and win this game. And I reckon Cardwell will do everything in her power here to shift this game's momentum. Caitlin Bassett, that was brilliant.
That was great. If I had a sports bra on, I'd be tempted to run out onto court now. She is amazing. I love that both shooters... Oh, Gabby Sinclair having a crack. Both shooters were out there putting up their two-point shots because they know how critical this next bit is.
Well, the Melbourne Mavericks have to hunt everything defensively. Their captain, Parmena, set that ball in motion then. There's your Nissa net points match leaders, powered by E-Power. Fowler Nemart, way above season average. 110 normally, 122 today already. Sinclair. Cardwell, 23 away from long range. Was going to set herself up to get the rhythm going. I think they're prepared to work this around, and so they should. Cardwell again. Didn't like Dehaney. Potentially can use the clock here to take a two. Wouldn't you play another ball? Well, it's only worth one. There's the Power 5 siren. And imagine if they'd have waited and then taken a two. It might have put some fear into the Fever. Now they need to hunt ball, and they have some hunters. Clever by Teague Neal. Well, the West Coast Fever need to keep the scoreboard ticking over. 13 the difference. They'd have to shoot some super shots seriously. I don't think they'll get to 24. Fraser into the pocket. Sinclair from here just a moment ago. Doesn't fall, but the rebound now in a better position. Oh, well, gee, didn't even like it. Surely she finds it on this. 71% accuracy, offloads to this lady. She's a queen. Cardwell can win this game for them. 4 minutes. Season on the line for the Mavericks. Contact from Manua.
Oh, the crowd wants the super shot there from Alice Teague Neal.
Well, the West Coast Fever probably need to make sure they know how threatening the Mavericks are, right? Late from Dehaney, it'll be a contact. You don't want to risk missing a two and then giving the confidence to this lot. Look at him. That's what they're capable of doing. Putting him up from anywhere, doesn't fall. That'll be the ball with the West Coast Fever.
That was huge. Dehaney didn't even put her hands over that shot. She just looked and watched. And sometimes for a defender to do something out of the ordinary, it puts you off as a shooter.
Have a watch of the Mavericks defence here. They've got to go. They have to fly at everything. Cross court. And again. Oh, gee, they're hunting the ball. Eyes only for the ball. Teague Neal. She's going to take her first Suncorp super shot attempt. She'll get another look at it. Manua hitting the hand. Teague Neal lines up. We'll get another look at it.
Well, she's had two now. And she's going to have two players standing out of play. She's just got a high five from her mate saying, you got this.
Dan Ryan, listen to the crowd. They're getting behind Alice Teague Neal. Oh, look at that. The Suncorp super shot drops for the lady that has played in goal attack only once this year against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. 14. Can they get 10 in 2:30? I don't think so. Trying to make it a bit exciting for Fever fans. Teague Neal again. Good take with a hunting Jenner. Ella Nemart. Now they're thinking about the score. Teague Neal this time. Doesn't fall. So the Mavericks, I'm going to say final roll of the dice, but they're going to have to go quick and big, and that's not going to help them. So it looks like the day will be with the West Coast Fever. We'll see out this next minute before we tell you how damn good the Mavericks have been this season. 72-57. The pocket for Sinclair. amongst the Fever defence. Doesn't fall. And the rebounding queen, Fran Williams, finds another one.
Yeah, look, just they're trying to throw everything at this, but when it's just not sitting that two-point shot, they need to be able to back it up and get the rebounds. 9-0, the Fever are just been capitalising all day. They've been huge in the rebound department.
Jenna on the fly, a minute 16 to play out. The Melbourne Vixens, well, they won by 10. That meant the Fever, to get above them on the ladder, had to win by 24. It'll be a contact on Amy Parmenter. A minute to play. Another little contact. Alice Teague-Neal. The crowd are going to ask for more here. Being given the option for a 1 or a 2. Going with the 2, Teague-Neal, that drops another one. A Suncorp super shot. Alice Teague-Neal. What a player she is for the West Coast Fever. 45 seconds on the clock to play, and the West Coast Fever fans, the Green Army, are up on their feet. Fowler Nemard now. We'll get another look at it. The Venga bus, Caitlin Bassett, is in action. Doesn't drop. 25 seconds. They'll fall short of the 24. It'll be a throw-in for Kelsey Brown. 15 seconds. Fowler Nemard to give the crowd something special. Well, there you go. The West Coast Fever will have victory. And for the Melbourne Mavericks, potentially with ball in hand, we say farewell to season 2024. But the Fever will go on into finals. But where on the ladder they finish, we still don't know. Well, I have to say, congratulations to the Melbourne Mavericks. We're going to get a chance to chat with their coach, Tracy Neville, after the end of this huddle moment, and they'll have a break. But for an inaugural club to have round 14 and a chance to play finals is just phenomenal.
Great start to the season. Considering everything that happens, you guys have done so well to get to this year. So awesome work. Fever, 3 cheers from us. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Anything else for you girls up here? Especially with all the opportunity to play, so thank you. 3 cheers from us. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Fever! Fever! Good job, Fever!